Hello, folks. Mike Newmeyer again. And I'm not going to talk about lifetime income today. I'm going to talk about life insurance. And I made a list of questions that you want to ask yourself about your situation as far as life insurance is concerned. So that's what we're going to cover. You want to make some notes, grab that tablet and pencil and keep the notes that you think are important. First of all, do I have an updated list of all my policies? Some people come in, they say, well, I think I've got this, or I think I've got that. And the older we get, the less, conscious of some of these things we've had for a long, long time. It's amazing how we forget some of these things. So, okay, so do I have an up-to-date list of all the policies that I have for myself, for my family? Maybe I'm carrying insurance policies that I shouldn't be carrying anymore. Or maybe there's money in a whole life policy or a universal policy that I should be drawing for income. So there's a lot of issues with life insurance. Where are my policies kept? Do you keep them in a safe place so you know where you can reach them? Do you keep them all together? Think about those kinds of things, because those kinds of vital records, those kinds of important information should be at your fingertip, but at the same time in a safe place. Okay. So that's the second thing. Do I know what they cover and who the beneficiaries are? It's amazing. People come to me and I say, okay, well, who are the beneficiaries? And they list them off, and then, guess what? They missed one, or they were wrong on a couple. Husband and wife, sometimes we find that one knows and one doesn't. Everybody needs to have a uniform understanding of these kinds of things, just like anything else related to retirement. Everybody that's involved should know what's going on. And we do provide to many of our clients that are interested in doing planning, we do provide a book where they can record all of their insurance policies, all of their securities, all of their annuities, all of everything, their valuables, etc. Having it in one place, if they passed on or unable to function, that the other person, their partner, husband, wife, are able to access those pieces of information to eliminate a lot of panic in the situation where all of a sudden you've got the other partner in trouble. Okay. What do you have to have? A durable power of attorney. You got to see an estate attorney. I tell people, they say to me, okay, well, what about, if we're doing estate work, can't we just go to an attorney? Or can't we download a will? Yeah, you can do both of those things. I wouldn't do them. I think this is a clear example where you want to work face to face with an estate attorney that's kept up with all the laws and changes in the codes and regulations, so that you've got a bona fide good deed or excuse me, a good will or a trust or a durable power of attorney. Big difference between a durable power of attorney and just a plain power of attorney. But I'm getting off the track. We'll go back now to life insurance. And you should have a good estate attorney. I used to teach a lot of that in my classes, but I am not an attorney. I'm not an attorney. I'm not an accountant either. So I give you general information, and then you go to the specialist for those things. Do I know what they cover and who the beneficiaries are in each policy? I think I mentioned that already. Is there any reason for me to consider changing my beneficiaries? People change beneficiaries. Some people don't even realize they can change them. Of course they can. So keep that in mind. Is my insurance still needed? You see these ads on television talking about that they can sell their life insurance. People can sell their life insurance. That's all true. But you're not going to make a fortune selling them. The question is, if you don't need them, if you really don't need them, then, and you've conferred with somebody that's a licensed insurance person, such as myself, I sell life insurance too, along with all the other products, and they tell you, yes, in your circumstance, it doesn't look like you need it, okay. There's companies that buy those, but they don't pay very much. So you really want to make sure you really don't need it before you sell it. You don't want to have seller's regret. Okay. Let's see. Do I need additional coverage? Incidentally, one thing that some people do is they have life insurance that their beneficiaries are going to receive that's going to be used to pay for their final expenses and maybe for some long-term care if they have to go in a nursing home. They basically have set that money up to be used for those purposes. And if they don't need it for long-term care, gee whiz, that's great. They've got some extra money. But that is a practice is very common. Let's see. Is my spouse thoroughly familiar with the coverage provided? This is the same thing we were talking about before. You should have all the information in one place. You ought to review them with your planner or advisor. Once every couple of years, the two of you sit down and review everything that you've got of interest and ask the questions and make sure everybody is singing from the same page, so to speak. Okay. Let's see. Am I using my dividends in the best way? Am I getting dividends on life insurance as an example, or I'm just letting it all accumulate in the cash value, which is a choice on most policies. So you have to, or am I borrowing money from my policy, and what am I doing with that, and why am I doing it? And we say borrowing. When you take money out of cash value, you never pay it back. We call it borrowing. In the eyes of the IRS, it is borrowing, and we don't pay taxes on borrowed money. So that's one of the great advantages of life insurance. Okay, let's see. Are any of my policies paid up or about to be paid up? You take a policy, for instance, it's 10 pay. You may very well have that policy for 20 years, but it's paid for after 10 years. And if it's a cash value policy and you're accumulating money in it, then obviously in 10 years you should have a substantial amount. You need to review these. You need to review these and know what your policies are. They're assets. They're not just life insurance. There are life insurance, but they're assets. Got to know what they're worth. Got to know what you can get from them if you need it. So that's very important. Okay. Let's see. Is my premium payment plan still the best for whether it's monthly, quarterly, semi-annually, or annually? So your payment. Am I paying it quarterly? Or am I making my premium? How am I making them? Do I need to change it? You can change it. You can change it. You can go from, annually to monthly to quarterly, whatever. Generally speaking, it's not going to save you any money, but if you have a cash flow issue that you're dealing with, then you may want to do that. Some people like to pay it once a year. See, they in fact have an annuity plan where they're taking money out of a particular annuity to make that insurance payment. So you want to really think it through, and not everybody is the same. Okay. Let's see here. Have I borrowed against any of my policy? If so, how much? Borrowing, remember, is not something you pay back, but you may want to pay it back if you want to preserve your cash values. So those are things you can discuss, and I'm happy to discuss those with you. What is the current cash value of each policy? It should be on a spreadsheet. If you have more than one, you should know what each one is worth. If you need it, and keep this in mind, you can maintain the death benefit in many policies by leaving, 25% of the cash value in the policy so that you're paying it out of the cash value. And you could, if you needed to, take out up to 75%. A lot of policies are written that way and still maintain the death benefit. But keep in mind, the death benefit is not going to be probably as much as it is before you take that money out. You got to get the ins and outs of these things. You got to know what's available, when it's going to be available, and how you get it. So that's very important. Should I consider converting or donating any of my current policies? Of course, you can do that. But that's up to the current situation, and that's different for everybody. And I can advise you on that also. Do I have clear instructions for my heirs on how to locate? And this goes back to the documents. This goes back to the book where we record everything, and that's why we provide that to our clients in the planning process to keep track of all your accounts, no matter where they are, who the beneficiaries are, whether they're transfer on death. There's lots of ways to avoid probate on a lot of items. If they're transfer on death through what you call operation of law, it immediately goes to the beneficiary. Very important to understand. A lot of things that an average person doesn't work with on a daily basis. So these are things we can show you a lot about. Have I checked with my insurance person or financial planner to see if there's more cost-efficient products that might replace any existing policy. Don't be afraid of change. Just understand it. Just understand it. And what you're getting if you make a change should only be done if it's beneficial. And that's what we try to deliver to folks. Call me if I can help you. I love to work with people, and I love to see them do better. Again, Mike Newmeyer, 410-902-0464. Thank you.